All right, so third training day of the week. This is a squat focused day, not to be confused with day one, which was a deadlift focused day, which is why I did squats as an accessory movement, but I want to squat twice a week. So here you see 7 sets of 3 at about 70%. And the reason that the intensity is lower and the volume is not really high per set is because every 3 weeks I have somewhat of an active recovery day for any main lift. This way I stay fresh throughout the rest of the training cycle. So that being said, getting right into squats, 7 sets of 3, I'm going to show you a couple of sets here. One of the things that I'm really trying to focus on, as I mentioned earlier on my first training day, is just really working on my form. As part of that, I find it a huge benefit to really slow down the descent of the movement. As I'm doing this, I'm actively thinking of where I'm loading the weight, keeping my chest in a better position, and just really trying to remain tight. And one of the things that I found when I accelerate the descent portion is I tend to get really loose and sloppy, which then has a detriment to every other part of the squat. So for me, slowing it down almost like I'm doing a 2-second count or something like that, it has really helped with me in this position quite a bit. Showing you a couple different angles here, also really actively trying to make sure that my knees stay out. I feel like I've been doing a pretty good job. Even as the weights have gotten higher, I'm going to continue to work on this just because it's something that's very important to me. From there, one of the main accessory movements I like to do following these sets of squats are stiff-legged deadlifts. And for this, I can tell you right now that my back isn't in the most ideal position, but given the load of the weight, I'm not really too worried about that. I'm really trying to feel that stretch in my hamstrings as I set the bar down and really brace my core and staying tight and really focusing on pushing my hips through and keeping the bar as close to my legs as possible. I did 3 sets of 8 here with this weight. Felt really, really good. And again, this is one of my favorite exercises. I probably should ditch the heeled shoes in this instance, but I just figured that I'd leave them on because I already had them on anyway. From there, moved on to some sets of the reverse hyperextension, which I have not sold yet. And I'm not sold on this thing still. One of the problems I have with this is I think it's way too easy to cheat and load up tons of weight and just really use the momentum. So I'm trying not to do that here, but I'm slowly adding weight each time. And I got to say that I still don't really think that it's worth the price of admission or the floor space that it takes up, and the benefit isn't as high. But since I have it and it takes up so much room, I'm going to program it in and try to get some use out of it. Finally, finish up with my favorite incline dumbbell rows, a couple sets here. This is probably one of my favorite back exercises. Again, programming in progression on this, just trying to add about 5 pounds every week if possible, really focusing on that squeeze there. This is a great alternative if you can't do something like seal rows. In fact, I think I get a little bit of better squeeze in my lats because of the angle. So that's the week. Hope you guys all had a great Thanksgiving, and I'll talk to you next time.